For this setup I'm using 3 batteries again. Battery 3, battery 2 and battery 1. I'm going to be using an 18 volt drill. I've just removed the battery and put 2 crocodile clips in. This is going to be my load. And I'm just going to take some voltages first. This first battery is another battery that won't take a charge. It's been lined up for a long time. And you can see the voltage is 0.7 of a volt. There's a connection. Okay, it's 0.71, it's flicking around. Battery 2. I've no stand for the back of this, so try and put it up against the battery. Way around. Right, battery 2, yeah, 12 volts, you can see that there. And battery 3. There. 1236. So first up, I connect the negative on the charge to the negative on battery 2. Then from the positive on battery 2 to the negative on battery 3. And then we connect one side of this drill to the positive, dragging everything here, the positive on battery 3. Now, before I make this connection, I want you to take a look at this voltage here. I'm setting it up to 200, so if it does go above the 20, we're going to notice it. Now you can see the voltage has shot up to 21.6. Now I have the trigger on the drill held in place with some tape, so it has to pass through this to make the connection. And this has jumped up to 21.6. I've seen this go up as far as 36 last time on a different battery, and this one is still sitting around the 12.01 and 12.35. Right, I'm going to leave this now for a couple of hours and come back and take some readings. It's 2 hours later and I'm going to check some voltages. Battery 3 is 1237. It started out at 1235. That's flicking between 6 and 7. And battery 2 is 12 volts. You can see that. 1201, which is the same as when it started. And I'm not really looking for the voltage on this, but you can see it's 21.3. Somebody mentioned on one of the forums that battery 3 is the sum of the other two. 12 and 12 is 24, so as you can see here, it's not what it should be. I'm going to turn this off for a second and see what this drops down to. can see it's 8 volts and dropping. Now I'm going to add an extra load to this to see what difference it makes. Going again. And what I have here is 12 volts, 7 watt. Now, voltages have changed quite a bit. Primaries are dropping down. Now they seem to have leveled out a bit. 12.09 volts, 11.80 volts, and 19.5 volts. I'm going to let that run for a while and see what kind of losses or gains we get from that. It's an hour later and some voltages have dropped down. Battery 3 has dropped from 12.09 down to 12.03. Battery 2 has dropped from 11.80 down to 11.7172, and the charge battery has remained the same. I only have that at 200. It's dropping lower there. 19.50. I'm going to turn this off now, let the battery settle for an hour and see what they come back up to. Another hour has passed and I'm going to check the voltages to see what's happened, how much have they changed since they started off. Battery 3 has gone up to 12.28. When we started this whole thing off, that was at 12.35, so that's a loss. Battery 2 is at 11.91. When we started out, that was at 12.01. And battery 3 is holding 4.68 volts. When we started off, that was at 0.70. So there's a slight increase there. When I ran this morning, I used another charge battery, and I decided to try an inverter across the charge battery, and a couple of things happened. The drill kicked into action. It's an 18 volt drill I'm using, and the power in battery 3 and battery 2 dropped down and leveled out. And this one here dropped down to about 9 volts, the charge battery, and kind of leveled out at about 13. But the inverter started smoking, so I had to disconnect it, and it did recover to more than it started off with. But I think I need to get a 12 volt motor for this. I might get one out of a car somewhere and try some more tests tomorrow. The batteries have now been resting for 20 hours, and as you can see, battery 3 is 2.50, 2.51 volts, battery 2 11.93, and battery 3 is 12.27. When they started out, battery 3 was at 12.35, so that's slightly down. Battery 2 was 12.01, so that's slightly down. But battery 3 was 0.70 starting off. It's now showing a charge of 2.5051. So we have an increase in voltage, but whether that's usable voltage or not, I'm going to have to find out, do some more testing.